The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Well. Vice President JD Vance hit a home run on ABC on The View. Masterful move to go on, and he silenced all those critics, all those haters at the table. But first, Trump derangement syndrome. What's up with Robert De Niro's message for President Trump? Well, I have a message for De Niro. And so, De Niro, I mean, are you starting to get senile? I mean, I'm sure it's going to happen to all of us, but what's the problem here, right? So we know that De Niro hates Trump, right? Okay, fine. You know, same ballpark as Rosie O'Donnell, right? Okay. But on the president's 80th birthday, De Niro said, "Shut the F up," referring to the president, adding, "I want to love my country again." So, to all the phonies out there, you can only love your country when Trump is not the president? So you love your country when Biden opens the border, and we're still, to this very day, paying for the problem of the illegals and of the migrants. So you can love the country under Biden, De Niro, but you can't love it under Trump? Nah. Hey, De Niro.
Dominic says, why don't you go sit down?
Yes, go sit down. Or as my grandmother would say, the Southern black grandmothers, boy, go sit in the corner over there. Go sit down. You in a timeout. Right? De Niro, leave Trump alone. Trump is doing a great job as president of the United States. 800-848-9222. And in that same regard of De Niro, I want you to listen to this. Republican consultant Scott Jennings on CNN holding it down.
I think you have to love your country, whether or not you lost the last election. I love America. And, you know, according to some polling that came out this weekend, most Republicans love America. 90% are very proud to be Americans. They're proud of living in this country. Unfortunately, I think Mr. De Niro's comments are pretty indicative of a majority of Democrats who can't seem to find that attitude, which I applaud, inside them, to love your country even though you lost the last election. And, you know, loving America, being a patriot for America, feeling good about America shouldn't be dictated by whether you won or lost. When I hear De Niro, I hear him saying, I can only love America if we win every election from here on out. That's a rather fascist statement.
And it sounds like that's what De Niro is saying. I mean, you know, you were a great actor in your day, but lay off the Trump stuff. You wanted him to lose. He won. You lost. Deal with it. 800-848-9222. Maybe we ought to take up a public donation for De Niro and Rosie O'Donnell for them to go receive some counseling. But hey, I mentioned Biden, correct? Yes. So now, even a blast from the past, Hillary Clinton acknowledging that Biden made a terrible mistake by running for re-election in 2024. But the biggest mistake for Democrats was Kamala putting her forth. Trump won the popular vote every battleground state. Here's Hillary Clinton on Biden.
He made a terrible mistake. He made a terrible mistake for himself, his legacy, and for the country. He had said that he would not run again. And, you know, counterfactual narratives are always a bit tricky, but I believe if he had kept to that plan and said in, say, the late summer of 23 that he wasn't going to run, that he was going to pass, you know, the torch to the next generation, we would have had a real contest. And very sadly, I believe whoever emerged from that contest, whether it was the vice president or a governor or a senator or anybody else, would have beaten Donald Trump. So I think it was a terrible miscalculation on the part of President Biden. But once he didn't move and did not, admit that he had said he was going to step aside and then decided not to, and held on for as long as he did, we were in a terrible dilemma.
Translation, what Hillary Clinton is stating very clearly there is that Kamala was not her cup of tea, that she would have preferred, just like Obama, to have a primary. And if a Democrat primary had been held, a Democratic primary, there is no way on earth that Kamala Harris would have emerged as the nominee for the Democrat Party. So that's Hillary Clinton's two cents there. Let's talk about the vice president. And I don't know if this is the first step towards looking towards the next presidential election. I don't know if this is JD Vance realizing that Marco Rubio is right over his shoulder, that one of these two will emerge as the Republican nominee. But the vice president did a masterful job on The View dealing with those haters, those absolute haters on The View. I don't know why this has to be the case, but everything with Whoopi Goldberg somehow centers around race. Here is JD Vance answering the question, the ridiculous statement from Whoopi Goldberg that President Trump is trying to cast aside black people.
And you were talking about people. What did black people do to this administration that has allowed it to really stigmatize folks of color? And you know how hard it is. You have folks of color in your family.
Sure.
So when you see, things, the Emmett Till stuff coming down, or them doing all kinds of removal of information of black heroes, how does that sit with you?
Well, what exactly are you talking about, Whoopi? Because you just, I know Emmett Till was the kid.
Yeah.
No, I want to know what she's.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
To your actual point.
So in a lot of the museums, there's so many. Where they're taking down the actual history that happened in this country. Slavery happened. All kinds of stuff happened. And it seems that it has been very easy for this administration to remove that, and also to denigrate black folks who have worked their behinds off to get this American dream. How do you, you know better.
So Sonny, that was actually a very helpful intervention, because I think the story you're talking about is where, allegedly the administration is holding back the appointments of people based on skin color. I've seen this story.
I'm talking about a host of things. I'm talking about black history getting erased from public spaces. Black voter districts are being dismantled. Black leaders are being sidelined from our ranks. Where do Americans of color fit in this vision? Because it doesn't seem like we fit.
I think, Sonny, my view.
And if I may, since October of last year, there's been something like 6,668 refugees allowed into the country. All but 3 were white South Africans.
So, first of all, I'm very skeptical of that number, because we have a lot of different immigration pathways in the United States of America. But let me just address Whoopi's point. Look, first of all, you asked the question, and maybe you don't believe this coming from me, but I think everybody is welcome in our political coalition. Frankly, even if you didn't vote for us, everybody is welcome in our country, so long as you're an American citizen with the duties and the legal obligations and rights to be here. But Whoopi, let me just give you an example of this. Okay, so you say that we're anti-minority or anti-black.
No, I didn't say that. I asked. See?
Well, okay, fine. Fair.
Don't start any stuff with me, man. Don't get me in trouble. Don't start no stuff with me.
I misinterpreted your question, but let me answer your actual question there.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying, I think, okay, look at Washington, D.C. One of the most democratic and one of the blackest, by share of population, blackest cities in the United States of America, has seen a radical decrease in violent crimes and sexual assaults and in murders. We have tried to take the crime issue seriously, in part because we believe everybody, whether you're black or white or rich or poor, deserves to live in a safe neighborhood.
Why does the crime? Where does the crime step in? This is not about crime. This is about
women lost their jobs.
Right. This is about human rights.
What you're saying is, we got to do more on the economy.
Black history has been erased from public spaces.
Black history is not erased from public spaces.
We do have to get to Iran when we get back.
Yeah,
some very important news
I'm telling you, we celebrate black history. We celebrate all American history. In this administration, you guys might be skeptical.
So, folks, you tell me. I mean, you talk about absolutely delusional. Where has black history been erased? The administration celebrates black history of all different communities and nationalities. And the vice president is correct. These women are delusional, folks. What about the crime issue? If you can't come out of your house, like in Tennessee, I think Memphis, as what was going on there, then what do you have? At what point do we get real about the issues impacting America? 800-848-9222. Let's start with your telephone calls. Al in Yonkers. Al, good morning. What's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, just 2 points. I hope you're doing well. I just want to say one, I'm going to be honest with you. I am disappointed with the president with this plan with Iran. I think it's a mistake to let Iran run the narrative here. And I just think it was a big mistake.
Wait, Al, who says they're running the narrative?
No, it just seemed that the president in the last few weeks was desperate for a deal. And I think he came off with a lot of supporters like myself. I'm not saying I don't like the president. I voted for him 3 times. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm disappointed with him at this point.
So, all right. So if this were easy, past presidents would have done it. What would you have him do?
First off, I wouldn't let the vice president be the point man. He's the president.
And why not?
Because he's the president.
The president can't be the point man. The president can't be the point man.
No, I believe the president, like, for instance, when he was like he had the vice president get on The View today, which I don't know what the point of that was yesterday, because I don't think it was really necessary to be on The View. These people aren't going to vote.
You've got to take it to your critics. You can't out, and this is what the problem is with the right. We just want to sit amongst ourselves, being cheerleaders amongst ourselves. How is that going to expand the base?
Oh, no, I agree with you with that. No, that's fine. I mean, it was a good dialogue. I missed it. But to get back to the president, I just think when you're the president, you have to be the point man. For instance, they came up with some lame excuse why the senators, the United States senators, who are powerful people, to be United States senators is an honor. They haven't even seen this deal. I mean, what is this? The vice president came up with some lame excuse. Of course
you're not going to let them see the deal. Al, come on now. You're not naive. If you let them see the deal, they'll try and block it. There's a reason why you keep them in the blind. Every president does that. Number 2, Al, you know politics, but come on. As busy as President Trump is, you think that he's got time to be the point man on this deal? Absolutely not. He just doesn't have the time to do it. But Al, I have to step in because I'm almost 2 minutes late for a break. Thank you for the call. It's time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
By the time I hit my 50s, I'd learned a few things, like how family is precious. Work can always wait. And 99% of people over 50 already have the virus that causes shingles. Not everyone at risk will develop it, but I did. The painful, blistering rash disrupted my life for weeks. Don't learn about your shingles risk the hard way. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today. Sponsored by GSK.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Explosive-packed drones hitting buildings near the event, forcing a mass evacuation and steering crowds towards a pre-staged sniper team. A second wave was then planned to storm the White House gate. The FBI first learned of the threat last Wednesday and worked with law enforcement across multiple states to stop it. Joining us now on the phone, former FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino. Dan, thank you for getting on the air with us. What else can you tell us? This is quite a frightening and sobering discovery.
Well, notice the class warfare language amongst the plotters there that appears in this early stage too.
And so that's from Fox News, the recent news that the FBI busted that explosive drone terror plot that targeted the president's UFC Freedom 250 event at the White House. And it was the mother of one of the young men in question that contacted authorities. We'll have more on that in a little bit coming up in just minutes. But we see all of your telephone calls. Let's get to some of them. Let's go to Kevin, line 2, Manhattan. Kevin, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. How you doing? I know Trump's not stupid. They might be playing good cop, bad cop, where he's trying to look like he's going to make a deal, but in actuality, he's going to let Netanyahu finish it because Netanyahu is right. I mean, you have to finish them off. We promised to help the Iranians, Trump did. They don't want a deal. They want the regime gone. They're on their last legs. I think this might be a trick because they know they're going to cheat. They know the Iranians are never going to, abide by anything. So Trump is just letting them walk right into it, and then Israel will finish them off, and we'll be there. But that's why people are upset, Dominic, because Trump looks stupid doing this, but we know he's not stupid.
No, I don't think he looks stupid at all. To understand Trump is to understand he is a master at doing stuff like this. And the illusion for 2 minutes may look this way, but you have to look at the entire picture. And like the point you made, Kevin, I got to move on to other callers. Thank you. But over time, let's wait and see what happens over time. This man is nobody's fool, meaning President Trump, and he is a master at dealing with stuff like this. And Vice President Vance warned of this, of news information coming out from Iran that portrays them in positive lights, but doesn't really go into great detail of what they're giving up. It is time for a break. We see all of your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
So we see all of your telephone calls. We're going to get to them. Susan in Corning, John in Minnesota, Joe in Trenton, Silas, Staten Island, to name a few of you. We'll get to that in a second. But that plot, as it relates to the UFC Freedom 250 event at the White House, it was a mother in Ohio who had the courage to call authorities on her own son, which opened up this plot, and authorities were able to move in.
Well, Kaylee, this is a story that deals with many different suspects in many different states, and we are learning, looking through these documents, that a mother in Ohio had the courage to call authorities on her 19-year-old, and she expressed some concern, and she may have blown this entire case open. His name is 19-year-old Tyson Proper, and he was picked up after she called authorities on June 10th, just a few days ago. This was 4 days before the UFC fight. We want to show some images The first image, I believe, that we're going to show is a rifle that belonged to her son, according to authorities. The other is a screen grab, several screen grabs showing aerial images and maps of the Washington, D.C. area and discussing where snipers possibly would be related to the White House. This is all evidence that is posted on an official court docket right now, an official government document. But I will say 19-year-old Tyson Proper's mother called police after she was concerned about his purchases and communications with people online.
So that from Fox News. Let's get back to your telephone calls. Let's go to Susan, line 3, Corning, New York. Susan, good morning. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm glad you got that taken care of today with the dermatologist. How are you feeling?
Oh, regarding that situation. So I listened to you. I saw your email. And I said, you know, it's the strangest things, Susan, that can motivate me in life. And I said, well, Susan is saying you better take this seriously. So I jumped up and I'm like, okay, I got to take it seriously. And so my wife, she was able to get me an emergency appointment with her dermatologist. So they gave me a couple of steroid shots to the face. It didn't hurt though, Susan. And so now, but because you pushed hard, I have a appointment, not an echogram, but something where they're going to see exactly what it is. And then I've got to go see a plastic surgeon next week and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. So it'll be done very soon. But thank you. Thank you very much. So what's on your mind, young lady?
Well, you know what? I'm just kind of, surprised that people are not willing to give Donald Trump, based on his track record, the benefit of the doubt here. Plus, this is just it's just a legal document. Them signing it.
Oh boy, your phone is going in and out, Susan. Yeah, you said, what did you say? Your phone is going in and out. You said what now? You're surprised that people are not giving I agree with you that they're not giving President Trump the benefit of the doubt. And then after that, it was kind of muffled with what you said.
Yes, because this is he's just kind of getting them to sign this legal document, and he knows they're most likely going to breach it, and then he'll have all the cards. They're going to have their assets frozen, and that everything's churning out. He's already got gas prices going down. Their ships are getting through in the middle of the night, and that also I think that JD Vance is excellent for this job that he's going to be doing at the signing. He has a venture capital background. He has analyzed. He's got a sharp mind. He's already had this experience doing these complex deals. President Trump knows what he's doing. He knows that he's quick and has the right demeanor for all this. I just don't get people being so negative off the bat.
Well, I agree with you on this one, Susan. And I love Al and Yonkers. I think he's a great guy. But to think that President Trump could be the point man on this is rather naive. The president of the United States cannot attend all of these meetings and be the point. Plus you don't want to send the signal. You want to send the signal that the person in charge is important, but not the top guy. So you send number 2, and thus the final decisions rest with the president of the United States. I think that it's been masterful the way President Trump has dealt with this. I am going to take a wait and see approach, Susan, and I agree with you. Let's give President Trump the benefit of the doubt as it relates to this. Susan, thank you for the great call. Let's go to line 1, John in Minnesota. John, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Dominic. Say, for several weeks now, I've thought that Iran needed more convincing militarily before they would engage in some serious negotiations. Now, just recently, 4-star General Jack Keane said he was disappointed that Trump hadn't finished the job. I think what Trump's reacting to a blowback at high gas prices and decided to make transit of oil tankers through the Straits of Hormuz to be the big deal. The major nuclear negotiations aren't going to happen for 60 days. And it's been reported that one of the conditions that Iran wants is that Israel must remove all of their troops from Lebanon. So here's the big test that'll be coming up for President Trump, and that will be when Hamas, Hezbollah, or Iran attacks Israel again. Is he going to tell Israel to stand down, or is he going to get back in the game? I'm very disappointed in it. The first 6-8 weeks, excellent, but for some reason, he's backed off.
Well, John, you started out by quoting a general, and I have to be honest with you. You can get a general for any point of view that you want articulated. You can find a general from the perspective that you want. You may be disappointed. My response is going to stay consistent. President Trump is playing chess. I'm going to give him the full benefit of the doubt until I see something different. As of right now, I will acknowledge this to you, John, the 60-day period. That's where the devil is in the details in terms of what's going to happen with Iran's nuclear program, whatever you want to call it. But again, I believe that President Trump deserves our support on this, and let's just see what happens. Thank you for the call, John. Line 4, Joe in Trenton. Joe, good morning. What's going on?
Good morning, Dominic. Yeah, if anything, if Donald Trump wins on the nuclear waste, the enriched uranium, that's a win. Now, Donald Trump's racing against the midterms, so he's really got to deal with that issue, because if he doesn't get it done before that, Dominic, we're through. I think that the Democrats are going to take power, and we're going to lose 2 years of Donald Trump. That losing Donald Trump, we got such a great bench of people waiting to take over. We're not going to see it. So he's got to do what he needs to do in order, I hate to say it, to keep power.
Well, you're indicating that if he didn't wrap this up, he'd go into the midterms, and thus the Democrats take over, and he'd be a lame duck. I don't see a scenario where the Democrats are going to take over. But I do hear you, Joe. Why even take the risk? I'm going to say again, I am not going to condemn the president because he's a master negotiator. My experience has shown me that the general public never knows the full details. We only know what each side wants us to know. Let's wait and see what happens the next 60 days. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hear your response, especially the way you responded to Susan. I hear your 40 years of experience, letting us know what's really going on behind the scenes. This is what makes you one of few that I listen to on a daily basis, because of your knowledge, and helps me deal with my issues with the politics of today. But another thing I wanted to add to that Iran deal, I sure hope they have a trustee kind of setup where somebody's there following everything that this supposedly $300 billion account Iran's going to have, to watch what they're really spending that money on.
Now, do you think President Trump would let this go forward, where they have a blind check for $300 billion, and he would face the political backlash over that? Do you think the president would let that happen?
Dominic, I sure hope so. But I tried thinking of how they could have that set up, and I don't know how, but I'm sure he knows. And I also one other thing before I go is I'm sure the Mossad knows what's going on in Iran, and that I believe that they're going to deal with the people and arming the people while Donald Trump is taking care of the other problems. That's it, Dominic. But thanks again for listening.
Thank you, Joe. So, on a number of fronts, right? So the people, the uprising, So, for example, I don't know if the Trump administration wants the current regime to stay in power, that they feel they can do business with them. I don't know, folks, and I don't think you know either. I don't think any of us will know. But I will consistently say this. President Trump is always playing chess, not checkers. And he would never sell out America. Period. So I see here Stan in Rockland County says Trump is losing a lot of credibility, line one. So Stan, you tell me how he's losing a lot of credibility.
So the reason why he's losing a lot of credibility, I'm a huge Trump fan. I really worked hard to get him elected, and I have a lot of friends around me that feel the same way. But at the end of the day, just because he's kind of desperate to try to make a deal, why are you spilling all the beans against Israel? Israel has been your closest ally. Him and Bibi are extremely close friends and everything else.
Okay, so wait. Stan. That's what's playing out in the media. How do you know that that's actually true?
Because listen to what he's telling you. He called
like I just said, that's what's playing out in the media. That's what they want you to see. How do you know that that's actually true? That those two are feuding? How do you know that?
Because in the past week, every single time he discussed anything about Israel, whether he said that Giuliani out of Syria today would do a much better job taking over and dealing with Hezbollah.
He did say that. He did say that.
And then he's tweeting out that what's the big deal? There was only a drone that flew in. Nobody got killed. Why do you have to hit them back? I mean, excuse me. Could you imagine if a drone flies into America from Mexico or any place else trying to kill people
Stan, if this issue was easy to solve, other presidents would have done so. There's so many interests. So wait. So you want Trump totally aligned with Israel. That's serving your interests. But what about everybody else's interests in America?
No. What I'm saying is that whatever he's trying to negotiate with Iran, if you're trying to come out there now and knock down Israel in every possible way, or what you're doing is
Stan,
let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question. Stan, let me ask you a question. Trump. Is it possible that Israel may have overplayed its hand? Is it possible?
No.
Okay, but that's your opinion. Maybe the president sees it differently.
No. He's a smart man. He sees it very clearly, just like me and you see it, because Israel has been surrounded by terrorists. Hezbollah, Syria, everybody around there trying to destroy this little country out there. They've been fighting for their life. So when he's going out there and throwing out all these kind of rhetoric, that's not good. We have enough anti-Semitism going on in this world. And I'm a huge fan of Trump, and that's the biggest problem. And if you watch on Fox News and all his closest allies that are all around him, everybody's dancing around quietly. Nobody knows what to say because something is very wrong with this whole entire picture. I mean, you want to try to negotiate and do whatever the hell you want with Iran, that's fine. Stop knocking Israel. Israel was there, the first one. I don't think America would have been able to even go into Iran and bomb the crap out of them if not from Israel taking out all the air defenses and everything else in the 12-day war a year ago. And in the first couple of hours, Israel took out a couple of hundred of the top people in Iran. It wasn't America. Israel did that. So come on. Back off and stop attacking them. It makes them look very bad.
Stan, I got to take a break. I'm sorry. I got to take a break. Stan, I've heard you. I got to take a break. Thank you for the call. You made some solid arguments. I'll acknowledge that. I'm still betting on Team Trump. The man is nonstop playing chess. Time for a break. We see all your calls. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And back to the phones we go. Palm Beach, Florida. And Kevin, good morning, Kevin. What's on your mind?
Good morning. I was just wanted to kind of touch on the attempted drone attack and sniper assassination. You know, what I've heard. I mean, I haven't seen anything official, but it just seems that tip that the mother gave to the FBI about her son, you know, taking $3,000 of the graduation money to buy guns and being sort of covert. And I just wanted to bring a point to, if we were still living in a Biden era, and I don't want to say that, let's say we were living in a previous era prior to this administration. We've seen so many times where these shootings have taken place where the FBI has been involved. It's been reported. Nothing's been done. Correct. And I just kudos to Kash Patel and his administration. And not only that, but this seems to me like a Homeland Security issue as well that's not being mentioned at all. But I just think that that's something to take into consideration when you're looking at why this was done the way it was and how it was handled, where it hasn't been handled properly in the past. That's all. Thank you.
Well, Kevin, you made a great point there, and a lot of credit goes to the FBI and also to this mother. See something, say something. That's exactly what she did. This mother in Ohio, waving the alarm, the alarm flag, bell, whatever, as it relates to her son, and thus this was stopped in advance. Silas, Staten Island, line 5. What's going on, Silas?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about wealth and race.
Wait, you want to talk about wealth? Wait, wealth and what? I didn't hear the rest of what you said.
And race.
And race. Okay, go ahead.
Would you host or moderate a debate with liberals on wealth and race? Like when Whoopi Goldberg puts out a statement, goes, they're taking down all the black, they're taking down black achievement and stuff. And then there's no one to debate it, no one to come back at her. Or when. So wait.
So wait, Silas. Yeah. So when you're asking me if I would moderate it, are you saying literally? I don't understand what you're saying.
I mean literally. If we were able to get them to, I don't know if a liberal would even debate us on wealth and race, but if they would, because I know you wouldn't let them get away with just making a statement and then not being challenged.
I don't let anybody get away with making a general statement. But I mean, so when you ask that question, so I'm going to be on a few hours sleep because I'll be on a panel discussion in a few hours with the owner of the Red Apple Audio Networks, John Catsimatidis, by an organization called 100 Black Men, a prominent organization. Mr. Catsimatidis, myself, Governor Patterson, and a few others. But so that's going to be happening later on today. So I thought that maybe that's what you were talking about. But Silas, I'll give you the last 30 seconds because the program is almost over. So whatever your point is, go right ahead and state
it. Debbie Lovato says hello. She told me you stopped over for dinner one time.
Yes. And she's a wonderful person, outstanding American. I'm down to 15 seconds, Silas. So whatever your last point is, you better go for it.
Okay. Well, if there's going to be if they're going to say there shouldn't be billionaires, then I want them to prove it and back it up. I want them to back it up or shut up.
Put up or shut up. Silas, Staten Island, thank you for the great call, folks. I'll be on a panel discussion a bit later on. It'll be online, and at 3 p.m., I'm back live Eastern time. Have a great morning.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?